Welcome to the flowerschool.com video library. I'm Leanne Kessler, Director of the Floral Design Institute, and I'm here to share with you our latest segment on autumn in Tuscany. You know, when the fall comes, we all dream of traveling, maybe to see the colorful leaves or maybe to go to Tuscany. But unfortunately, that's not in reality for so many of us. And so instead, I love to take a little tour with my flowers and visit Tuscany with the sunflowers and the beautiful hydrangeas and, of course, the grapes in my floral design. The base of the design is a beautiful cast iron urn. Of course, it's not watertight, so I've lined it with a plastic liner and wet floral foam that's been soaked in flower food. Setting that in place. Then the grapes, they're not real grapes, they're plastic, so I don't have to worry about them rolling around the floor. And to work with these, I have two options. One, I can just take a wood pick with a wire on it. They actually have a little hole on the end, just kind of feed it through, beating it on, and then bringing it up, lashing it, and then I can insert it into the foam with the pick. Another option is to use bind wire. Just take a length of it, maybe 6 to 9 inches, depends on the size of your pot. And then again, just feeding it through the hole and twisting it so that it's secured to the bind wire, and then measuring across the pot and taking another one, feeding it through. And when you do it this way, you can just drape it right across the pot, and you don't have to use up any of your foam space. So it's kind of a luxury. I can take them and maybe drape a couple different colors, letting them come across, and then go back with the one and just let it sit into the foam, and then I'm ready for the rest of my flowers. As I begin, I think about different foliages and different materials that will just set off the flowers. Maybe a little bit of lemon leaf or salal, letting it drape out casually, moving any damaged leaves, and sliding it underneath the grapes, bringing in one maybe a little bit taller, coming up through the center, and then some ornamental kale. Taking it, pulling off the lower damaged leaves, and then reflexing it so it looks much more attractive. When it's closed, it ships better, so it doesn't get damaged, but it doesn't look nearly as pretty in your arrangements. And so just by reflexing the leaves, it becomes looking much more like a flower. Then it takes so much room in the foam. If you cut it with a really strong slant and repeat that with another very strong slant, taking off the little knobs on the side, it takes less foam space. And that way when you set it in, it won't chew up your foam and take all of the room. I'm going to take this center grape out and add him later so that it'll stay over the top. That way I can tuck this one down low, breaking the side of the container, draping down. Bring in another, again giving it a long cut, and dropping it to the opposite side. And then the hydrangeas, oh, they're so fabulous. These two have fairly large stems, so if I give it a cut, remove the leaves, give it another cut, and then hydrangeas will last much, much better if you treat them with alum. And alum is a pickling spice. You get this in the grocery store, A-L-U-M, alum. And it's a white powder. And you just dip the stem, the cut end, into that powder, and then go ahead and insert it into the foam. Next, the fabulous sunflowers. And again, they too have thick stems. So giving it a long slanting cut, and then another long slanting cut. removing any damaged leaves, and then sliding it right down in, making sure it gets deeply into the foam so that it'll drink well. And a second. Sneaking it right behind the other so that it terraces. That way it looks good from either side. Sometimes you'll have sunflowers that aren't perfect, like this one. This is far from perfect. Then go ahead, remove the petals. You can remove all of them or half of them. But isn't it beautiful, even without the petals? So whenever I have one that's not perfect, it doesn't go into the garbage. It still gets used. It goes into the design because it enhances, just with that wonderful face, sliding it in, adding yet one more perspective to the bloom. Then putting our grapes back in, letting them drape down and over, and the Tuscan design comes to life. Once all the large fat stems are into the foam, then I can go back and add my smaller stemmed accenting materials. Maybe a few of the billy balls or crispetia, clustering them together, giving it a cut, and then just feeding them down into the foam. And their stems are so strong and straight, they just go in easily. A few more. Bringing that bright yellow into a few more spots of the foam. Even bringing it down towards the front, sneaking in next to the sunflower, between the sunflower and the grapes, and then gentian, bringing in more of that bluey purple color. It's a little more delicate, not quite so heavy as the hydrangea. I can bring it up even taller, turning it so you can see from all different sides, bringing some down towards the front here. And then off to the side, mirroring the first one, just kind of tucking it in there. And then to soften, a little bit of grass, making me think of the weeds that might be in Tuscany. This is fountain grass. It's nice and delicate. Just kind of feeding it in, letting it spray out over the top. Coming out towards the side a little bit. And then even loosely, kind of lower, coming out the back and down. So you can see it adds softness and a little bit of wispiness to finish the design. Now that we have our Tuscan centerpiece, it's time to go outside and celebrate those wonderful days of early autumn. Start a picnic in the backyard. A little bit of bread, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of wine, and grape juice for the kids. What a wonderful time. Think about being in Tuscany and travel far away in your dreams. For more creative inspiration, check out our website at flowerschool.com. If you've got questions, you can reach us through the website or call us on the telephone at 1-800-819-8089. When you get your Tuscan feast put together, take a picture. I'd love to see. Send it off to me using my personal email. It's Leanne, Leanne, at floraldesigninstitute.com. For now, happy autumn season. Have fun and do something you love.